Welcome everyone, it's Gray Shirt Guy, rock the gray shirt as always. We finally did it. It's the 6th of March, 2022, and we made it. We finally did what I set out to do, which was to fully assemble my backlog. And now I told myself, hey self, if you fully assemble your backlog, you can go out and spend a bunch of money on some really cool Imperial Guard, like Forge World stuff, and some other super heavies and Lords of War. And now, it's not a secret, I actually ordered these in December, so that's here nor there. And so we got these are what's left. I just finished assembling the last Chaos Warriors for my Slaves of Darkness army this morning. They were from the Star Collecting box, so they were relatively easy to put together. I didn't get the older Chaos Warrior kit, which I kind of like the look of the older Chaos Warrior kits. Very kind of mono pose, very similar, more designed for a rank and style of Warhammer Fantasy. The new ones, the Age of Sigmar ones, they look fine, but so I had 2 boxes of those Start Collecting boxes, and I just finally finished assembling everything this morning. So we got all this. It's going to be a slightly long video. I'm going to go through all the armies that I have assembled, and we're going to discuss what we plan on doing with them, or what I plan on doing with them. And but before I start, there are a few kits that I didn't build, and it's mostly just because I wanted at a point in time when I started getting really crazy into just buying too much last year, I wanted a Beast of Chaos army because I thought they were really cool in Total War Warhammer 2, which Total War Warhammer 3 is out now, but Mortal Empires is not out, so I'm not playing it because I'm waiting for Mortal Empires, just because the factions that are out right now just don't really inspire me to really want to play. But when Mortal Empires comes out, we're going to get into that. It's going to be great. But I wanted Beasts of Chaos because I thought they were cool. But there were a lot of the models that I wanted were out of stock for a long time, and so I kind of drifted away, but I had bought that one Start Collecting box, and I had offered it for sale in the local Warhammer little group, and no one had shown any real interest in it because Beasts of Chaos is kind of an army that's not super popular. So I do have that Start Collecting box, and I don't plan on building that army ever. And so I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time putting that army together if I don't plan on making it. It could be in the future, a couple years down the road, maybe Beasts of Chaos get really good, and maybe I need another antagonistic army for Age of Sigmar. Maybe I'll bust it out and assemble it. Or I have looked at some 3D printing models because moving forward, I only plan on 3D printing armies. Outside of maybe if Imperial Guard gets a new vehicle in the release for 9th edition, I might pick that up because there are rumors that there is kind of an intermediary tank coming out, so I might pick up one of those. But everything else I plan on just 3D printing. So if I can 3D print a Beast of Chaos army to go with the Start Collecting box, I will. I have one box of Eldar Fire Dragons that I bought because I was like, oh, these are cool. But I don't plan on ever making an Eldar army, so they're still unassembled. And I have one Sisters of Battle. I had ordered 2 of these, the special edition Sisters of Battle Canoness character when the army was first refreshed a couple years ago. Was it 2-3 years ago? Maybe more. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to keep this model, and it's going to, like, I don't know, maybe at some point in time they're not going to print this Canoness anymore, and she's going to be a semi-valuable. And, well, that didn't really work out. It wasn't like, money wasn't my only motivation. That's more Magic the Gathering when I buy Magic products, but I bought 2, and I ended up just not needing the second one, and so so I'm not going to put those together. And I do have some random guard, like heavy weapon teams and command sprues that I'm probably just going to toss in my bits box just because I don't have an army planned. I have almost every single Imperial Guard army and I don't have a need for these extra sprues, even to expand my Acadians or anything along those lines. So for now, I don't need them. I might use the bits and other things. So I do have some kits that aren't assembled, but it's just those 4 kits. It's just the Beast of Chaos Start Collecting box, the one little thing of Fire Dragons, the one Sisters of Battle character, and a couple, one 3 unit heavy weapon team and 1 command sprue for Acadians. Just because I already have a massive Acadian army and I don't need these extra sprues. I got it was an Apocalypse, it was an Armored Spearhead. I got it like 5 years ago. And, was it 5 years? It was when I was in Japan, 2019, whatever it was. I got them because they had done the big Apocalypse release. And I picked it up even the day I picked it up, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. And so I built the tanks, and we're going to see some of those, and I built the Chimera, where we'll see those, but I don't really have a use for those infantry squads. So we'll see if maybe somebody wants to take those off me. But aside from that, let's get on to it. So these we're going to be building over the next coming weeks, and I do want to do a specific video on building one of these. So if you want to see a video specifically on building one of these, let me know. Oh, my knees. Yeah, I've been kneeling down the whole time. Get a little too old to kneel down. Anyways, so we have 2 Marauder bombers, 1 Marauder destroyer, 2 Stormhammers, 2 Macarius battle tanks, and 2 Baneblade kits. I plan on making one of them a Shadow Sword, and I plan on making one of them a Stormlord. The Stormlord's going to go in the Valhallan army, and because it's got the increased troop capacity to move all those conscripts around, and the Shadow Sword is going to go into the Morden Iron Guard army. I believe the Destroyer is also going into the Iron Guard, and the 2 other flyers are going into the Katachan army. The Stormhammer is going in. One's going in the Morden Iron Guard, and the other one, I think, is going into the Praetorian Guard. That's what I currently have planned. But yeah, so these are going to take a lot longer. So these probably won't be finished by the end of April, but I do have some vacation coming up. So I do plan on taking a crack at trying to get some of these kits out. If there's a specific video you want to see on any one of them, let me know. I probably won't do a video on all of them. I might do some studio updates here and there showing you the progress as I work my way through them. But the plan is to knock out the Baneblade kits first because they're plastic and I built them before. And then probably move on, knock out the 2 Macarius battle tanks really quickly because they are relatively easy to build. The Macarius, I have a video on how to assemble the Vanquisher. And so they're very similar to the Vanquisher. And the Stormhammers, they're basically just a Baneblade chassis with an extra upgrade kits or a couple upgrade bits for them. So they're not super difficult. The Flyers, though, they required, they're going to require a little bit more attention. I've been watching some people put the Marauders together, and you could probably do it in a weekend, but it probably will take me a week to do each of them. And I just finished my class. I was in a college course. It was an 8-week course. I just finished it yesterday. No more assignments, so I'm good for a couple more months. I take 2 or 3 classes a year, and so I'm going to take a couple months off. I'm going to focus on this, get this all squared away. But let's get into just showing you the armies that I have assembled, and I think I have 24 of them. The count might not be right, but yeah, let's just flip this camera around, and I'll show you what I've been working on. All right, we're back. We moved over to the office. I just took some still pictures of all the different armies that I have assembled, mostly just because it was a lot easier if I just was sitting down and going through this. Trying to deal with cords and lighting was it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So let's get into it. All right, let's click on the button here. Boop. All right, here we go. So this is from the far right cabinet, moving our way left. We have our Mordian Iron Guard right here. The infantry is from Victoria Miniatures. The infantry models, I don't know if you could see them super well in the photo, but some of them right here, if you see this right here, there's a big gap right here. Some of them need significant gap fill work, so we're gonna have to do that before we prime them. But we have some Wyverns in the back. This is 3 infantry squads. They have heavy weapon teams with them. They got plasma guns as well. I think they're sporting the las cannons for the heavy weapon team. And I don't have any transports for them, and I don't plan on taking any transports for them. So they're mostly just going to be being issued orders and foot slogging their way up. But we have 2 plasma tank commanders, and I believe we also are taking a Punisher tank commander that I painted with Steel Legion. But he's gonna hang out. He's gonna be a buddy. But we have they got the plasma cannon sponsons and the heavy bolter on the hull. Got a whole bunch of this guy right here. Oh man, I wish the picture was a little bit better. But he's missing like his whole lower bottom jaw, which was a mold mistake. But I'm gonna make it. The way I paint it, it's gonna look pretty good. I thought about mold stuffing in like a metal jaw, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna do that or not. But And then we have the old classic Commissar. I really like that one where he's sitting on a little box and he's preaching out the book. That's pretty good. Over here we got our Scion army. So we have 2 Vendettas for some transport and some direct attack. We got a Knight hanging out. We got 6 Bulgrin, 6 Ogren. We got 6 Wyvern Psychers. We have 4 Crusaders. We got a couple random characters from Victoria Miniatures here in the back. And then we have, I think it's 3 Scion infantry squads, and then I think a command squad, and then, or 2 command squads, and 2 Tempestor Primes. I think is kind of how the loadout is. Not a very big army, but I like the idea of Scions having like a mix of like auxiliary units, which is like the Crusaders and the Psychers and the Ogrins and stuff. And I hope they keep those in. They're very flavorful. And then we have Commissar Yark hanging out down here. You can't hide from Yark. So Yark's hanging out there. These 3 Sentinels are actually for the Steel Legion army that's below this on the shelf. I just kind of ran out of room, so I put them right here. Over here we got Victoria Miniatures Chimera. It's they call it something else. I forget what the name is, but I'm using it as a Chimera. And I did magnetize. I don't do a lot of magnetization these days, but I did magnetize the weapon options for the hull and the turret. So right now I think I got the double flamer thing going on. We got a Victoria weapons or Victoria Miniatures. This is like they're kind of like on like an Australian Daredevil Katachan kind of thing going on. They're a veteran squad with 3 multi-meltas. They're gonna hang out in that little Chimera thing. And so this is the first two armies. All right, let's move on to the next picture. So right below it on the shelf, we're moving our way down. We have the Praetorian Guard here on the right. We have a whole lot of Leman Russ. We have 2 regular Leman Russ battle tanks, 2 Vanquishers, 2 Nova Cannons, and 2 autocannons. I think they all have the same loadout with las cannons, and maybe not. I think this one. No, I think these have plasma cannons on the autocannon ones, just because the range is the same. But these ones all have the las cannon heavy bolter. We got our Punisher. We actually have Pask because this it's Praetorian Guard, but I'm going to run it as Cadians just because they don't have Praetorian Guard specific rules. I don't know when they got rid of the rules for Praetorian Guard, or I don't know if they ever had a rule set for them. Maybe they'll bring it back, maybe not. We do have a heavy weapon team with heavy bolters and we got a company commander and a commissar right here. Over here we got our Crassus armored transport. This thing can take 35 miniatures, I do believe. We have, this is our Steel Legion right here. So we have 6 squads. You can't see one in the back. We have 6 infantry squads with the missile launcher heavy weapon team. So it's pretty sweet. And then so 3 of the squads are going to go in the Crassus. And then we have 3 Chimeras here. We have a Punisher tank commander. And then, I don't know what this is. Hold on, what is this? Oh, this is this is for this. This is for the this tank right here. This is a pilot. I actually decided. No, normally I don't paint the pilots of the aircraft, but we got a Death Strike and we have a Manticore and we have a whole pilot right here for them. I can't remember if there was going to be another HQ choice because I think this army only has one HQ choice. Per this, I'll have to look it up, but yeah. So there we go. So this is the first cabinet. We have how many armies we got? We got Mordian Iron Guard, we have Scions, we have Praetorian Guard, and we have Steel Legion. So 4 armies so far in the first cabinet. Moving on over to the next cabinet, we have Katachans. A lot of the Katachan army is fully painted, so pretty happy with that. Then we have Cadians, and we have a nice little kit bashed Solar Macarius right here. And once again, the pictures were taken with my phone real quick, so apologies for the quality not being super crisp, but. We have our Bane Blade right here. This is the same Bane Blade I did the Octoblade video with 7 years ago, and he's still not painted. I can tell you how much I really care about my Cadians, but we're gonna work our way on that. I started painting them, 2015, 2016, and I just didn't have an airbrush back then, and I have an airbrush now, and I've did a bunch of tanks with that Talaran army. So I'm pretty well versed in how I want to do it. Also, I did a lot of airbrushing on these Katachan flyers right here. And yes, I'm aware. Currently, you can't take more than 2 flyers in a match play game. I play mostly open war, so it's fine.
It's not cool. They butchered my boy, but whatever. Unique though for the Cadians is we have three autocannon chimeras, and they are, what do they call those? I forget the name of what they called those, but originally, way back in the day, the autocannon chimera was a thing specifically for Deathcore at Krieg. It was like one of their, I think it was like Griffin pattern. And then they opened it up to any Imperial Guard army wanted one. And that wasn't very long. That was very short-lived. And then they made them legends, which really annoyed me. But also, way back in the day, I think this is probably like 5th or 6th edition when I first played against Guard. What was I playing as? Chaos Space Marines or Tau? I can't remember. I was playing against Guard. You used to be able to fire if the Guard had a heavy weapon team with them, and they were in a Chimera, you can fire the heavy weapon out of the hatch instead of the lasgun array. And then you could fire the hull, the turret, and the crew inside. So if you had an autocannon turret, you can have the autocannon from the heavy weapon team inside, and the heavy bolter or whatever you had on the front on the hull, more than likely heavy bolter, unless you're really close. But that was really good, and it was pretty spicy. And then of course we have 3 multi-laser Deuteruskis right here, chimeras, and these aren't glued on there, but I do plan on keeping these dozer blades because I just think they look cool. We do have 6 Canadian infantry squads, 3 mortars, and 3 autocannons. And they're going to look really nice once they're finally painted. And of course, we got some mugs, some Deathcore Krieg, and some other Imperial Guard mugs I picked up over the years. And this is a female Sly Marlboro, Victoria Miniatures character. We do have Ball, just cause. And he's not in the army, and I don't plan on ever making Mechanicus army. So he's got Ball hanging out. I don't know if I'm ever going to paint him. So well, there he is. All right, moving on to the next picture. Oh, I gotta zoom out to do this. There we go. All right, this is moving down. Some more Cadians. These are just random Victoria weapons. Apologies. This is Victoria Miniatures, random characters. We got some more Cadians, or some more Katachans. This is a Strachan with his little infantry squad. We have a small command squad with a las cannon, plasma gun, and medic. And we have... what are these guys right here? Oh, the regular Lehman Russ battle tanks. They have las cannon and heavy bolter. And then we have some Medusas. So these are... Now, they're different now. What they used to be is used to just have like a Medusa. I think now the only Medusa that you could take is the armored Medusa squad that's in the Forge World. So I kit bashed some Basilisks, and I basically cut the nose down, and I put the Nova Cannon from the Lehman Russ kit to make a Medusa. So I'm still going to run them as like the armored Medusas, because I think they're cool, and Medusas are pretty neat. Oh, here we go. Some more, so we got 2 Flamer Chimeras and 1 extra Chimera, and then we have some more. This is more of the infantry squads from out there. We do have some magnetized. I magnetized 1 squad of Mark IV Space Marines for like every possible option, and I was gonna do it for the whole army down here, and I was like, nope. Trying to keep a hold of all the magnetization bits is a pain. I've seen someone had a really nice like tackle box with them all in there, and it just wasn't my thing. I like to build an army with the list I play. And then if I ever come across, I don't play meta list. I just play with, whatever I think is cool, whatever I load out I think is cool. And so like if I was playing an army in a competitive tournament, sure, I would either magnetize it or specifically make sure I had all of my bases covered. But it just wasn't as fun to magnetize. I mean, it was a good exercise, but I just don't want to do it again. Well, all right, moving on. Aside from that rant. So right over here, we have a dual army. It's interesting because I'm looking down, but the mouse is way up on their screen. So I have this right here is a, if you look right here, this lovely paint job. Sorry about the quality. But I have a Raptors army that can also be a Salamanders army. And so basically, the Raptors army and the Salamanders army have slightly different units you would take. But the plan is to paint them all the same shade of this olive green, even though I have 3 salamander characters. I'm not going to paint them their traditional salamander bright green with flames, although they do have a lot of flames on them. I'm going to paint more of the olive green of the Raptors. Same with all drop pods and everything. So we have 2 armies in one, and I was a pretty good cost-saving measure. And, I mean, with Space Marines, with Loyalist Space Marines, I think that that's perfectly a viable option of saying that, like, hey, today this is going to be Raptors and tomorrow it's going to be Salamanders. I think that's perfectly fine. Then moving on over here, we have our Valhallans. I happened to pick up these metal Valhallans a while ago when they were on made to order, and I think I picked up a little bit more than one platoon. We have 1 Chimera for them, for this little command squad crew right here. 3 sets of heavy weapon squads. And then we have some, I think, 3 infantry squads with the auto cannons. And you can swap the auto cannons out with any one of these because I think the points are about the same. And then we have conscripts down here. We have 30 conscripts. And we have some platoon commanders. And here is where the Stormlord's going to go. And that's going to be pretty sweet. And then, so that's, so we had 4 armies in the first. And then we have 5, 6... 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 armies so far. Let's move on over. Next picture. All right, so we have our Tau. So on the right here, we have our Tau. We got our Farsight Enclave. We have the 8. Very mildly irritated with the fact that the new Tau rulebook did not include the 8. Now, whenever they started including the 8, it was kind of a niche thing. It was always in supplemental books or in special rulebooks. But a little annoying. Now, I can still use the models in the 8 as, you know, like I can load out the army a different way. So that's all right, but I still want to use it as the 8. Here we have 3 Fire Warrior infantry squads, and we have 1 squad of Croots, and we have some Pathfinders, and we got 4 Devilfish, and just a whole bunch of drones and stuff. So the tower, I think the tower are going to do pretty well. I mean, the tower right now look pretty nice. Over here we have our fully painted Talarn. This is the first top half. We have 6 Basilisks, 1 Manticore, 2 Demolishers. It's funny because the picture actually you can zoom in and see that I didn't paint the inside of the barrel. Like way down. The perspective of this picture looks weird because this looks like it's on top, but it's actually looking into the barrel because I had the flash on. You can see it a little better with this one over here. But yeah, I didn't actually paint inside the barrel. My bad. But we got 3 Chimeras. These are, what is it? Oh, excuse me. A long day. We have our heavy bolter turret and heavy bolter hull. All right, moving on. Next picture. Going down, we have our, what is this? Oh yeah, that's right. So this are the Devilfish I spoke about, and 1 Hammerhead. I do have Long Strike. If I ever play this as a Tau army and not as a Farsight army, I'll use them as Long Strike. If not, I'll just use them as a heavy weapons option. Here are the infantry for the Talarn. There are other showcase videos that are way better lighting, higher quality. This is just kind of me just going through what I have assembled over the last few months. These guys right here are, what do they call those? They give a buff to artillery units. I forget what they call them. But they're like special characters. I basically just made them out of some spare bits. I haven't painted them yet, but because I painted this full army, and then I was like, oh, I should add some of these, or someone recommended adding them, so we got those there. Down here, how many? Oh yeah, we got more pictures. Over here on the right, we'll start from the right. So down here is where we have our Howling Griffins. 99.9% Primaris only, minus 1 character, which is Kato Sicarius over here. Essentially, I'm using Howling Griffins as regular Ultramarines. So I'm going to paint them as Howling Griffins, but they're going to be Ultramarines. And this whole army is sub-assembled to make the painting easier. And I did do these little 3 guys, Marius Calgar and his little squad. I did these a while ago. And kind of worked out, and I'm really looking forward to getting around to painting these. Not sure when though, because I don't know. I know I want to do Sisters of Battle next, and I might do Death Guard just because my Death Guard army is relatively small, and I think doing and I want to use Horus Heresy Dust Raiders for my Death Guard, so I think I might do Death Guard after I do. We'll see which army I end up doing. But over here on the left, we have our Vestroyans, and these guys have Chimeras. They got regular Tauroxes. They got some Macarius Vanquishers, and they're going to have a Macarius Battle Tank. I don't know what to do with the extra Macarius Battle Tank I have. He might end up in the Katachans, maybe? Or the Cadians? He might have been in the Cadian army. I'm not sure. But we'll figure it out. Jeez. You know, when you yawn, it's either because you're tired or you're out of oxygen. That's what I've heard before. So I might just be out of oxygen. I'm not super tired. I don't feel tired. Just speaking a lot of words. All right, moving on. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, you gotta zoom out. Ignore this a second. There we go. All right, here's the last bit. So the more of the Howling Griffins Primaris, and I do have this is a Repulsor Executioner with as many weapons as I can throw onto it. And we have a Redemptor Dreadnought with a plasma gun and everything. And then we have some more infantry for the Destroyans. And they're currently, I think it's like a bluish green color scheme. And I think I'm going to keep that color scheme with these guys. I think it's going to work out really well. All right, moving on. So here we have our World Eaters. If you've seen my stop motion battle report from a couple months ago, almost 6 months ago now, we pit the World Eaters against the Blood Angels, and the World Eaters, yeah. I mean, I wish the photos would have came in a little bit better, but I was trying to keep the photos back so I can take the whole cabinet in, which is probably why it's not super clear on what these are. We do have on the right here. We have our how many armies are we at? We're at 9, then 10, then 11, then 12, so 13. We're at 13 armies before this, so then we're at 14, and then this is a full Empire Age of Sigmar army using basically just the old Empire. Well, it's a Cities of Sigmar using basically the old Empire models, and I did kit bash some like Cogsmith, but to be a human model instead of a dwarf model. Or Dwari, or however you call it now. So we have one here. And then that's where we're at 14, then 15. Okay, and then moving down, we have over here we have Space Wolves. These are I think there's one patrol of Primaris, and then the rest of it is old Space Wolves, the old Space Wolf dudes, and a lot of Space Wolf guys in there. And I did put most of their heads on sticks because they're not helmeted, and so I wanted to make that really well. And then we have a Lord of Death army, or we have a Death. What do they call it? Slaves. Soulblight Gravelords. We have a Soulblight Gravelords. You can't see him behind the big lad of Archon? Archon Everchosen is taking a lot of space, but Nagash is behind him, and this is a 3,000 point. Basically Vampire Count's army, kind of. Von Castine, we got some old Blood Knights right there. And moving on. So, we got drop pods. Oh, and then moving down. So we were at 14, 15, 16, 17, and moving down to our 18th army. This is our Slaves to Darkness. And this has Archeon, which is probably the biggest non-tank model I have. Definitely has a huge wingspan. He's a large lad, and I had to put his boss on a little cork. We got Bellicor, and we have 2 start collecting boxes, 1 20-man Marauder, just Chaos Marauder unit, and 1 10-man Chaos Marauders on horse. And then the Chaos Warriors from the start collecting box are pretty easy to put together. Mold lines weren't too bad. Oh, the Marauders though, because they're an older kit, the mold lines were terrible. All right, so we're at 18 armies, I think is what we're at right now. Let's move on. Next picture. So we have our... my brain stopped working for half a second. Blood Angels. So these are my, I think, Crimson, Silver Crimson. I forget the name I gave these guys. But they're Blood Angels. I didn't want to do them only red. This is back when... And I know my World Eaters are a very similar color scheme to my Blood Angels. I just really like the silver, and... I didn't want to make a whole red army, so. But yeah, so we have our Blood Angels, and this was like the first fully painted army I did. As you can see, I did recently pick up some characters. I picked up Commander Dante, put him on a different base. I picked up what do they call that? a sanguinary priest, put a jump pack on him, and then a chaplain with a jump pack. I picked these guys up. This model right here, this fucking impressive lad right here, was done by Den of Imagination. I think they're out of Poland, I believe. I could be wrong. I know they're out of Europe. Den of Imaginations. I really, really, really like. I really like that jump Smash Captain. Yeah, Smash Captain. And then we got some more dudes. So we're at 19 armies right here with our Blood Angels, and then we have our Fallen Chaos Space Marine army. So this is it's basically units of Fallen, which are what did I use? I use Mark III kits with the Horus Heresy, Dark Angel heads and shoulder pads. And then I used regular Chaos Space Marines, and I took the heads from the Mark III kit and put them on there. So people were like, they were thinking they were Iron Warriors, but this is our 20th army? Yeah, 20th army. And then we have our Death Guard, which we have Papa Mortarion hanging out right there. I really do like this army. It's just a lot of infantry, and we got a Vanquisher there. But we got Papa Mortarion there. And then we're at 21 with our custom kit bashed Defiler. And we have, what is this guy? Couple squads of Plague Marines. This picture's really bad. I apologize. Just mostly stuff from the Imperium box. And then some custom Terminators that are made out of some Age of Sigmar models. I do want to paint these. And I went with, so for two of the models in this army I painted a plasma guy in the back, and I painted that custom Defiler. I have a 3D printer now, and I've been looking at some Defiler 3D prints from other third parties, and I kind of want to go with one of those instead of this one. And so I'm probably just going to probably not trash it, but I want to repaint the army. So that pink model in the back, I'm probably going to strip this guy back here. I'm either going to strip him. If I can't successfully strip him, we have to repaint him, but he's got a bunch of typhus corrosion on him, so I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to strip him pretty well. But I don't plan on. I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. But yeah, because the paint scheme didn't work out the way I wanted to. But moving on, last army. So we have 22 armies, not 24. I stand corrected. I was going to have 24 if I had done Beast of Chaos and Eldar. Yeah, but I have 22 armies. My bad. Sorry, apologies. This is our Sisters of Battle, and it's in a stage. Yeah, it's basically like the Start Collecting kit and a couple other boxes. It doesn't look like much. This model right here, which is the back of the model right here. Let me zoom in. This is also from Den of Imaginations. This was the first model I commissioned from them, and then I really liked it so much to where I had No, I did, opposite. I had them do the Smash Captain, and then I had them do this character. But these ones turned out pretty well. I really like these. And this is kind of the caliper of what the rest of the army is going to be. I just haven't gotten around to it because I wanted to do assembly. All right, so we have 22 assembled armies. Now, this is what's left over. Woo! So I've already chewed through some of it. You don't see. I've already done this to some of it. I was going to organize it nicely. I was going to put it in their own individual bags, and I was going to label it. And then I realized that was being a giant. That was more annoying. So I just started to clip them and put them in one big box. So this is going to be a giant box of bits. And I might need these little Hellstrike missiles for my planes, for my destroyer. But aside from that, so this is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of days, is just de-spruing this pile. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but that's what we're going to work on. And yeah, so, and here's what we got. So this is the plan. I've already mentioned it before. We got a Stormlord, Shadow Sword, 2 battle tanks, 2 Stormhammers, 2 bombers, 1 destroyer, and then 1 of my cats. And so this picture's blown up on Facebook. People love the Biotitan. She's a turd, but anytime I have food, she comes around. Well, that is it. So 22 armies assembled. And some of them were assembled before, some of them were from a while ago. But I had probably assembled a good 12 to 14 armies in the last 6 months, which was not a easy feat. and I don't wish it on my worst enemy, but I finished it because I said I was going to do it. And the only thing I have left on my backlog is these guys right here. But before I start assembling those, I need to tackle these sprues. So this is what I'm going to be doing. Throw on some YouTube in the background and just start clipping away. But yeah, that's what I've been doing on. So we got there. Let me know which one of these bad boys you want to see me do a video on. Probably won't do it on more than one of them, but yeah. And if you guys want to support me, please check out my book. I wrote a science fiction opera book. I released it last year, and it's on Amazon. Link in the description. Other than that, have a good day and see you around. Goodbye.